Ladies and gentlemen, some of you might have heard the story of Private Travis King. He's in the U.S. Army and he crossed over into North Korea. And apparently, he was not treated well in the U.S. Army. And he speaks of a lot of racism that occurred. And that's why he crossed over into that territory. Racism in the Army, y'all, I have been hearing about these stories since I was a child. And I know it has happened long beyond that. And remember, when the Army was originally established, it was along racial lines. They had, even during the Civil War, they had segregated units. So, it's always been racist. I've always heard the stories from people that were in the Army and served, how racist it is. And, I even knew someone that was telling me even the way they promote is extremely racist. And I believe that. I mean, what institution in this country is not filled with racism? They all are. So I believe it. So let's get into this story. I saw it, but I didn't know much about it, so I never said much until now. So Travis King, North Korea, says US soldier fled because of racism in the army. And of course, they want to get him out of there because they're afraid of how much he's going to talk to North Korea. So North Korea has said U.S. soldier Travis King crossed into its territory last month because of inhumane maltreatment and racial discrimination in the Army. The 23-year-old private dashed across the border from South Korea on the 18th of July while on a guided tour. Private King admitted to crossing illegally and wanted refuge in North Korea. State news agency KCNA reported. Washington said it could not verify the claims. So they appear in a statement which has so far been published by KCNA. So concerns are growing for the welfare of the U.S. soldier who has not been heard from since he crossed over into North Korea. The U.S. is trying to negotiate Private King's release, yeah, because they're afraid of him talking. They don't want they don't want Travis King revealing a lot, especially about the military to them. Yeah, they want to get him out of there. So they're trying to negotiate Private King's release with the help of the UN command, which runs the border area and has a direct phone line to the North Korean army. Responding to the North Korean report on Wednesday, the Pentagon official said their priority was to have Private King brought home safely through all available channels. You know what? They're going to do something to him, especially if he is telling North Korea he left because of bad treatment and racism in the US Army. Oh, they want to get a hold of him. They're going to try to figure out a way to punish him. So, North Korea has given no information on how it plans to treat Private King, but said the soldier admitted he illegally entered the country. The fact that North Korea's statement emphasized Private King's illegal entry suggests that it is not thinking of having him stay even if he wants to, said Christopher Green, a senior consultant at the think tank International Crisis Group. That is not surprising. He would lose all of his political value to them if that were the case, said Mr. Green, but added that North Korea is in no rush to negotiate Travis King's return to the US just yet. Yeah, they're afraid he's talking. They have very publicly thrown in a lot of Beijing and Moscow as high level delegation visit in both countries in recent weeks. It is a mistake to think that North Korea is or needs to be in a hurry to deal with Travis King's mess, he said. The statement on KCNA did not say if he faced prosecution or punishment. There was no mention of his current whereabouts or condition. During the investigation, Travis King confessed that he had decided to come over to North Korea as he harbored ill feelings against inhumane maltreatment and racial discrimination within the U.S. Army, KCNA reported. He also expressed his willingness to seek refuge or a third country, saying that he was disillusioned at the unequal American society. Private King is a reconnaissance specialist who has been in the Army since 2021. So he joined the Army in January of 2021 and was in South Korea as part of his rotation. Before crossing the border, he served 2 months in detention in South Korea for assault charges and was released on the 10th of July. So it seems like just days later, he crossed into North Korea. So I would like to know more about these assault charges. I would, you know, and I would only because of how much the US goes overboard in jailing people and you put trumped up charges on them. These things occur every day in America. So I would like to know what led up to him being in detention for 2 months. So his family have previously told US media that he had relayed experiencing racism in the army. They also said his mental health appeared to have declined after he spent time in jail in South Korea. It feels like I'm in a big nightmare, said his mother, Claudine Gates, adding that the family was desperate for answers. North Korea is one of the few countries still under a communist rule and has long been a highly secretive and isolated society. Its government, led by Kim Jong un, also stands accused of systemic human rights abuses. America, you need to stop saying this. You need to stop saying this. You are the biggest human rights abuser on the earth. You got all this racism going on in this country and you're trying to point to someone else. Please just shut up already. Analysis said the detainment of Travis King has played into North Korea's anti US messaging at a time when relations between the two countries are at their worst. Well, it's always been bad. When has it really been good? It's always been bad. Just like problems within the US have always been bad. Race relations in the US has always been bad. I mean, you can't even point to one decade where things were good. That doesn't exist. Okay, Pyongyang will most likely have relished all the opportunity to, highlight racism and other shortcomings in American society, especially given the international criticism it receives for human rights abuses. The UN Security Council is due to hold a meeting on Thursday to discuss the human rights situation in North Korea. They got a lot of nerve, don't they? Racism been going on in America for 500 damn years, but they want to talk about human rights abuses in somebody else's country. You would have to be a fool to let these folks come to your table to even have such a conversation. But they are facing a lot of pushback. It's not as easy as it used to be for them to do that. Ahead of its comments on Travis King, North Korean media had put out a statement on the UN meeting, which will be held by the US. Mm, mm, mm. So, not content with fostering racial discrimination and gun related crimes, the US has imposed unethical human rights standards on other countries, it reads. Yeah. Okay. They don't want Travis back because they really care. They don't care about this dude. But if he was working on, what he was doing in South Korea, reconnaissance specialists, oh, they're afraid of him talking. They're deeply, deeply afraid of him talking and giving information to North Korea. That's why they're desperate to get him out of there. They don't give a crap about him, really. Y'all, please tell me what you think about this video. But I don't doubt that he faced discrimination in the Army. He's not the first, and he certainly won't be the last to speak about the discrimination in the US military. I've heard about it forever now. Please leave your comment and subscribe. Don't forget to hit on the notification bell, and I'll see you on the next video. Peace, family.